Okay, this is a vlog day or a vlog video, but this is a day I want to vlog. So anyway, I'm heading to, guys, can you tell I'm not like totally comfortable I'm not totally comfortable talking on camera yet, but I want to get more comfortable with it. But anyway, Friday, chill day, going to the studio. When I say the studio, actually I'm going to my buddy Sergio's. He got a studio set up in his basement though, but really good photographer, man. You know, if he's down for it, by the time I get to his place, I'm gonna talk to him, and maybe he'll get on this vlog a little bit with me. But we're gonna talk about some things, man. He's trying to like do a magazine, a publication. I was working with him in the past on that. We halted that process. A lot of things that we were trying to do with COVID. Things slowed down because of the COVID situation. But yep, we're gonna start those talks again. He has other things in the works. So like, yeah, really excited, man. Really excited to get back into working with him on that. Get in my camera bag here. Not planning on taking any shots today, but whenever I'm with Sergio, man, I always feel like you never know what you might get into. So this is my camera bag, low pro. This thing's been with me for a long time. Baltimore Ravens strap. I don't really watch football that much anymore. And then it's summertime. It's hot out there. Gotta have my water bottle. Okay, so keep looking out. I'm sitting in the car right now. I just got to my man Sergio's house. This is how it is when you're dealing with creatives, man. But you know what? To his credit, I was about to get on him about not being at the house because he's not here. I did tell him I was gonna be here like around 1 o'clock. It's 1:57 right now. I did tell him I was gonna be here around 1 o'clock. It wasn't like I said be at the house by 1 o'clock, so I can't be hard on him for that. I was about to be really hard on him. Talk about these creatives. You set a time with them. You say, hey, I'm coming through. And then they're not even home, not even here, you know what I'm saying? But I will say, this ain't the first time, this is the second time. So, again, can't be too hard on my man. They say you was 10 minutes away, man.
What's this Nikon over here?
Yeah, I thought you said you was 10 minutes away.
Oh, my bad. I went to Springfield, bro.
You went to Springfield?
There was an R6 and an R1.
Okay.
Went down. Easy pass, and, you haven't been on there, so.
I've been on there. I thought it was because you don't really know how to ride this thing. It just took me a lot longer to get here because of that.
This guy. Oh, man. What's up with you, bro? I was thinking for so long, what would be the next step beyond photography for me? And so many creatives have the idea that, they can go from photography to videography and create something visual, motion images, right? And it's beautiful. But when I think about it, for me, I wasn't satisfied with that. And I kept thinking, well, clothes means a lot to me. And I have such a connection to clothes because I feel like clothes can show a person's personality. But then I wanted to think of something what's more intimate than clothes, and that's furniture. Yeah. Because when you go into somebody's house, what's the first thing you see is their setup. Yeah,
you get a sense of their style.
Their style. Exactly.
Who do they like? What do they like? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You get their personalities right there in front of you.
And you can't wear all your clothes in one day.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't wear your clothes in all day. What are you going to say? Hey, come and look at my closet? No, that doesn't do it for me. How can you show your personality in one setting at once? Okay. And to me, it is furniture. And I love furniture. I literally love furniture so much. Regardless if I'm buying furniture or not, I Google furniture just because it's inspirational to me. The shapes, the way it lays out, the colors, the texture, all of that stuff means so much to me, man. And that's how I knew it would be the next level, is furniture.
Cool. I mean, when it comes to the designs, the next thing I wanted to ask you was like, when it comes to the design, I know like when you showed me the first sample, it was like you said, it was a wood frame, and now you're thinking about like putting in like some metal elements,
Yeah.
Are you like looking at other designers and then like trying to like say, hey man, I would like this, but I would change that,
Right.
that sort of thing?
I'm actually not even looking at furniture designers. I'm looking at architects.
Okay.
Because, you know, and a lot of designers who are also in the world of furniture do the same.
Okay.
They look at architects. And there are so many different architects out there that have really taken stuff from design and implementing it in a way that makes you feel good. Like, you can look at this building and you're just like, wow, this is a piece of art. Same thing. I want my furniture to reflect that. Because anybody can make a basic element of a sofa that has 4 pleats, 4 places for someone to sit, and it's the same thing repeated and repeated and repeated. But then when you start to implement art into it and start to really start it from a blank canvas, then the ideas start to really flow and it changes into something beautiful, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that, man.
Yeah.
'Cause I was even thinking like, I mean, the reason why I like that is because, I mean, you know, I love like artists, man, like of all types, man. And so like when it comes to like music, I always think about this conversation I had like with people who was trying to get in the rap industry, and I'm like, okay, but all you listen to is rap,
Yeah.
right? It's like, I think you're gonna be limited. You know what I mean? So I think like what you're saying is the same thing with furniture. It's like, you know, by looking at other things, you're actually expanding that palette. You know, and able to draw from these other areas. Man.
Yeah.
So that's cool, man. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes next. And like you said, it's all about inspiration. And at the end of the day, you know, as a creative, a lot of people neglect to talk about the environment in which they grew up in and the environment in which they create.
Yeah.
And that's such a huge aspect. And that's what I want my furniture to instill on people who purchase it, is exactly that.
Nice. All right, so I'm gonna interject a little bit of Sean in real life branding right here, man. You know, so like right now this week, I just been on this whole thing, and so that's why I was even excited that you called me and said like, "Yo, let's talk today, right?" Because I was on this whole thing, and like maybe I wasn't getting on myself on this one. I was on this whole thing of like, yo, you know, I want to like start like doing more recordings. I want to do more vlogs. I want to put more content out there on YouTube. And so like I was just sitting on my computer late at night working. Like I'm still working on that contract with the Vietnamese developers. And I was just sitting there late at night just working. I was thinking like, man, you know, should I record like, you know, this testing that I'm doing for the application I'm building, or like what should I do? I was like, I don't want to record that, but I want to talk about some things that's surrounding it.
Right.
And so what I was saying was like, you know what? I literally was sitting at the computer, had my like webcam sitting on top of the monitor. And I was like, boom, you know, I just hit record.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna just record this and post this to YouTube.
Right.
And I just call that video, the first video, Just Start. Just start, man. You know, and this is what how I see this, you know, like with the furniture stuff that you talk about, man. It's like, all right, like this is the first endeavor into it. You've already been successful in photography. Want to like bring something else into like the physical world. Like, man, okay, never built furniture before. Just start, and that's a part of this, man. I love it.
For sure. That's awesome. Well said.
Man,
Well
you gave me
said.
some content today, Sergio. What's up? I ain't even plan on this, man.
Yo.
It's like impromptu.
Man, I'm telling you, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We inspire each other. We bring ideas to each other all the time.
All right, cool, man. You do music too, right, Chad?
Yeah, I'm doing music.
So you're an artist that they should probably like be interested in.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on putting out some music in the next month. I'm gonna start the rollout. Right now, it's in the creation / engineering, mixing and mastering process right now. So working on it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So DistroKid, that's crazy because I'm actually going to use DistroKid for
Oh wow.
to distribute music on. You can use it to distribute your music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, TikTok, and you basically, you know, you go through these third-party platforms like DistroKid, or there's CD Baby, there's TuneCore, and that's how you get your music on those platforms. I'm gonna use them. I was going to use them before, but then I didn't have my music in the place I wanted it to be, so I didn't want to put anything out there yet. But now, yeah.
But I'm
There
saying,
you go.
But if I worked at DistroKid, it would even make you feel like more so you should use it, right?
Well, it would be an interesting perspective. It would be an interesting perspective.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I got a lemon drop. Thank you. So anyway, that's an important part of the vlog. You know what I'm saying? Gotta like, you know, I'm gonna check that out. But literally sitting here talking to my man Chad about like studio work, and another one of the reasons why I was kind of like excited about like just working with musicians. I mean, I love working with musicians, man. Every time I've had like an opportunity to be in the studio, you know, with them, just like sitting there, like watching the creative process, man. You know. So a lot of times when I went, there's this guy. His name is Michael Chad 757, and I'm not sure if he still has a 757 on it, but I think he just got signed recently. I'm not sure about who, but I know that I know he already had like management working with him and like, you know, just doing a lot of things. So like anyway, I went down to Virginia Beach to visit him. Was in the studio, you know, with him while he was like, you know, kind of like cleaning up one of these tracks of his, and you know, just watching him like go over it. I mean, he does like a lot of like, you know, like rapping, like, you know, he's a lyricalist, man, you know what I'm saying, like, or a lyricist, I should say. He's a lyricist, but he's also like, you know, trying to like, you know, put vocals in there, right, and singing and stuff like that. And it's just like I just loved it, you know, like being around there. So right after came back from Virginia Beach, came back around here, was in Maryland, went up to the studio in Baltimore with Kendall. And then, like, you know, just sitting in the studio there again, man. And, you know, and it was like, you know, it wasn't just Kendall, it was a bunch of other people in there. And I'm trying to remember, like, some of the name of some of the guys. I know you guys know them. But he had, like, a vocalist in there, like a true singer, someone on the guitar, somebody on the bass, and they go in there and they just we're building the track, just building it. And I just like, yo, man, that's infectious, you know.
Was YJ in there?
Nah, he wasn't there that day. Yeah, he wasn't there that day. But it's just like, yeah, man, like that creative energy, you know, and turn it on, keep it on, and apply it, man. Like, so whatever. You say you're doing the design studio. All right, I'm gonna cut the rest of the audio up. Yeah, all right. And the microphone might be too far. It might be all this ambience being picked up too. Anyway, thing about music. All right, so like I said, when I was a kid, man, like was classically trained, piano, then violin, played in orchestra, and I never left it, man. I never left that. So I could not go to sleep, man. I could not go to sleep without like having some music on, man, like something. You know what I mean? And like back then for me, it was heavy on the underground. There's so many names that I forgot right now, you know, but just heavy on the underground. It was like, you know, it was Tribe Called Quest, and I'm watching a documentary about Tribe Called Quest right now. Pharoah Monch, it was Leaders of the New School, it was DMX, it was Method Man, Redman, you know, and then a lot of like Buju Banton and you know, Capleton and just Bob Marley, Michael Jackson. You know, my dad, you know, loved that, you know, that stuff. And I just love music, man. You know, I always felt like I always either wanted. Now I love technology, right? So you know, I like technology, but I always felt like one day I want to do something. I want to bring all of that together. You know what I mean? I want to bring my love for music, my love for technology, my love for art overall, and it's like how to it together, man. So why I love music is because I used to play it, and it's got a hold on me, right? So when I listen to it, when I sit in the studio, and you got like your proper studio monitors, right? Like banging out like, you know, that 808 or whatever. It's like, yo, okay. This is it. Yo, let me be here. You know?
No, yeah. As a producer, it always interests me because so many people love music, but they don't. It doesn't really interest them how it's made or how it's produced. So it always interests me when somebody, you know, who loves music, appreciates music, is also curious about the process and not necessarily trying to be a producer or an engineer or a sound designer or something, but just the fact that they would just even be curious about the production process. It interests me, you know, like what would interest somebody in that?
Yeah, dude, for me, I'm also a nerd. You know, I'm a nerd straight up, right? Like, I like building software, right? So I'm interested in the process, right? I'm always interested in like, you know, what did it take to put that together, man? Like, what are the pieces, right? So even like when it came to like podcasting, like I'm not just I'm not just like, all right, let me just get like the cheapest thing and like just like, you know, like throw together a podcast. I'm like, man, what kind of microphone do I have to get, right? Should I be using a dynamic microphone, or should I be using man, I'm forgetting the name of the microphone that I did wind up using, which is not a dynamic. It's a cardio. Yeah, should I use like a cardio microphone or dynamic microphone? I landed on the cardio for a reason, you know. Even though a dynamic, a lot of people prefer it, you know. Let me start free and cheap first, you know, and like use these different softwares for like, you know, I don't want to just record it and then throw it up there. Nah, I'm stepping through the. You know what really made me interested in like stepping in the studio and seeing that process? It's just that sitting in the studio actually helped me get better at like editing my podcast audio, because I'm sitting in there and I'm watching as the engineer is working on the songs, and because it looks similar to the same type of software, right? The software I'm using is what a musician would use, right? And so I'm watching them cut the track. I'm watching them like, you know, as they're like, you know, equalizing it and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, and as soon as I left the studio and I was doing my next podcast, I was like doing like some of the same stuff that I saw in the studio. So I was like, yo, I like that. Yeah, that's it, man. But even what you guys are talking about, man, it's like it's not just I'm putting together a product. It's that I've taken this passion to this other area, and now I'm about to take this passion and I'm throwing in to this. So I want to make sure I'm giving you a good product. I want to give you something that's going to make the end user happy. So for me, what was always aggravating for me, and I've worked at some great companies and I've been surrounded by great people, so I don't want anybody to look at my LinkedIn and then look back and be like, oh, all these companies are crap. You know what I mean? That ain't the case. It's that there are individuals within those companies that get in your way. You know what I mean? And that's always been frustrating, you know, for me. And so it's like there's individuals that care more about like, oh, you know, we have to care about the bottom line. We have to care about the money that's being made. But it's like, dude, at the end of the day, do you really think that the decision that you're about to make, even though it's saving money, even though it's going to put more money in your pocket, is the customer ultimately going to be happiest with that decision that you're about to make? If they're not going to be happy with it, then what you're doing is you're making a short-sighted decision for money today, and you're saying no to money tomorrow. Because what's going to happen is when that customer comes, because we're not the only people, whatever we're getting into, we're not the only ones doing it. So a customer can easily find somebody else. They will be exposed to something else. Yep. And then they'll be reminded about how they worked with you and think back on, oh, that's why I left that company, right? At first, it's like a feeling that they don't have something to really put their finger on. But then they'll really be able to put their finger on it when they work with somebody else who does way better. Yeah. And it's passion that makes you do better. Yeah. And that's why I say the IT field, if you're in accounting, if you're in accounting, if you're an architect, whatever your boring job is.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Whatever that boring job is, bring the create your creative that's in you to that space. Yeah. Okay, end of the day with Sergio and Chad, man. I had like some really good conversation with those guys. You know, they're trying to get some things done, which I think is pretty cool. You know, Sergio's more ready to look at his plans, which is or execute on his plans. Magazine, which is for publication, and what was the other thing that he was doing? Also he's doing furniture. We talked more about for publication today, but I think it's really cool. Meeting up with some friends and, you know, just seeing that they're working on things too, that they're also just starting on their dreams. So I think that's pretty awesome, man, and it helps to also infuse me with a lot of energy when I see people talking like that. So heading home right now, going to see what the family's up to, and probably think about getting something else to eat. It's now hours later. I'm not starving, but a nice snack that'd be good right about now. All right, home sweet home. Cut.